This one time when I was little I thought I could talk to trees. Because I had no friends. And I used to sit by them and say things, and one day I was talking to my tree friend called Kevin, and this girl went up to me and said, "Are you talking to that tree, freak?" And I started crying and hugged onto the tree. And while she was laughing, one of the branches fell on the girl's head. Thanks, Kevin. Time in 4th grade, my mom had to pick me up for my doctor's appointment. She was supposed to come at 2 o'clock, but it was 2:30, so the principal called my mom, but there was no answer. It was then 4 o'clock and I was sitting in the office waiting for her. They then sent me to the after-school club, which ended at 6. It was 6:30 and they asked me if there was any other way to contact her. I said no. When I waited there, another hour went by and it was just me and my principal in the office. He tried calling my mom several times, but she wasn't there. He then left and it was just me and the security guard. It was the 9 o'clock and my aunt came all the way from Mass to pick me up. My mom ended up passing out and had to go to the hospital for some reason. I didn't know any other phone number and my mom's number was the only one in the book, Red Heart. One time when I was 15, I went to the beach with my best friend and we were there all day. I ended up sleeping over at her house and before bed I chugged 2 bottles of water. I felt very dehydrated. We were sleeping in the same bed and I fucking wet the bed. I peed so fucking much it woke me up and it was all over her too. I was panicking and didn't know what to do, so I went to the fridge, got chocolate milk and poured it all over the bed and all over her and said, "I spilled chocolate milk and we need to wash the sheets," and she believed me. I'm 18 now and she still has no idea. One day I asked how babies were made and my mother said that it just happens to lucky people out of God's choice. So 7-year-old me asked, "What if I don't want the baby?" and she said I had to keep it. So then I searched up on Google how to kill a baby inside of me at home because I was scared that God picked me and my parents had to talk to the FBI on why their 7-year-old daughter is pregnant and killing her kid at home. Once in like 4th grade we were in class doing work and suddenly the principal told us we were going into lockdown and that it was not a drill. So we all got into the corner of the room and someone banged and shook the door aggressively and we were all scared and about to cry except me because I was a little psychopath and I thought the thrill was fun. Anyways, after a while we were all told to go into the gym by police. A cop, by the way. They were yelling at us to go when kids were pissing themselves probably. So we got to the gym and the principal told us it was actually just a drill and none of it was real, and I will never ever forgive that fat mouth. So there's this one time I asked my mother, "Why was you and daddy making all those noises?" and she told me how she was baking a cake, so I wanted to bake a cake too, so I asked my friend to come over so we can bake a cake, and when she came she was confused. So we was just standing staring at each other naked. Next thing you know we just starting making moaning noises to bake the cake like my mom said, and she walked in on us. So when I was in 3rd grade I was at gym class and my whole class heard a loud boom like a gunshot. We looked at each other then went on. But then 3 seconds later the teacher said go back to the classroom, and so we all did. Then my crush saw me crying and then held me and I put my head in his lap. Then he kissed me. Then I wasn't scared anymore and we were stuck there for a while and I was with my crush the whole time. And then the police showed up and it was really just a car that had broken. In 4th grade I got boobs. And a boy kept popping my bra. My teacher told me the all boys will be boys. So I invited the boy under the slide for a peek at my bra. I told him to close his eyes. And then I kicked him square in the nuts. I laughed all the way to detention. I accidentally sent my orchestra teacher a video of me crying. We had to record ourselves playing the music and send it to her so she could grade it. But I left it off to the last minute and was really stressed, and it was really late at night, so I decided to cry for 10 minutes to relieve some of the stress and hence start recording. Unfortunately, I caught myself crying in the beginning of the video and didn't realize until the next day, after we had a one-on-one lesson together. She asked me a bunch of questions about how I was feeling and how stressed I was. I had no idea why. One time in 6th grade I saw a boy's magic stick go up, so he went to the bathroom. I followed him because at the time I didn't know what a boner was and I thought he had a water bottle in his pants. He was new, so I was going to tell him he can drink it. In the class I went into the boys' bathroom and saw him beating off to gay furry porn, and he asked if I wanted to watch, so I did. A couple walked on us watching gay furry porn and we just were staring at each other very awkwardly. Then the other boy got a boner and him and his girlfriend went into the bathroom stall and did the dirty while we were right there, ha 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 ha. Last year I used to have a crush on my cousin's friend and he liked me back, so we started fake dating while he was dating this girl from his school, and he started to spend more time with me than his actual girlfriend, so they eventually broke up and he got so mad at me that he was telling everyone that it was my fault that they broke up, but it was his idea to start fake dating, but he is now living his own life because I told him if he kept talking about it I would tell everyone where he. I was in 6th grade and I had a crush on a 7th grader. He played football. He said after the game to meet me under the bleachers. I said okay, then I met him there. He kissed me and told me to meet him at his house at 1 a.m. I said okay. My brother helped me sneak out. We talked and made out till 3 a.m. Now he is my boyfriend of 2 years. Okay, here's my confession. One time in 6th grade I was single as fuck, so I went on Tinder and matched with this guy and I asked him if we could meet up then smash, and he agreed, so I gave him my address and he snuck in at around 1 in the morning. He was 16 at the time and I was only 12, but I didn't care and neither did he, so we started making out and he slowly took off his clothes and mine and he put his ding dong in me, but it was really small and I'm not even sure if I lost my V card to him cause it was so small, but 3 years later I found out he was a sex offender, lol. One time me and my sister went to a sleepover at my best friend's house and she has divorced parents. Anyways, that's not the point. My sister and my best friend was upstairs in her room and I was hungry, so I went downstairs to go get a snack and I seen her mother with my math teacher on the couch making out and I got scared, so I ran up the stairs and told my friend and she ran down screaming at her mother why she was with our math teacher, and after that night I never seen that math teacher ever again. One time when I was 8 or 9, me and my cousin did those lie detector apps on the phone and then he asked me the question, "Are you gay?" Obviously I made some sort of excuse because he was recording the whole thing, but I totally knew I liked guys back then. A few days or at least a month after that, my uncle found that video and showed it to me. The next morning everyone was eating in the kitchen and then he showed everyone the video and then forced me to tell everyone that I was gay. My uncle tried outing me at 9 years old. I felt uncomfortable, so I just said it, but everyone denied it, saying it was too early or that I was too young. But little did they know. Ha 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 ha. Keep on sending in your stories. When I was in 8th grade I had a racist computer design teacher. He would say shit like reverse racism exists or shit like calling someone white is racist. It took me a while to realize he wasn't just failing me because my work was shitty. So one day when he was putting up a poster he asked someone to hold the rolling chair he was standing on. My friend happens to be the one holding the chair. I told her, "Bitch, you should move the chair so he falls," so she was like, "Hell yeah." She quickly moved the chair. He fell and bumped his head and passed out. We called the office and they took him to the hospital. No one told on us because we all hated him for being a racist piece of shit. In conclusion, don't be racist, we all taste the same. One time me and my baddie's friends were playing Roblox and we were playing bacon and some girls were camping, so me and my friends told them what state and city we live in and we gave them our Instagram, and the next day we all got messages from some girls in a group chat and they said they were gonna call a gang on us, but the baddies we told them we were ready, and then they came and shot up my friends, but I told them I would have sex with them, so they. This is one of my most baddest bitch moments. One time last year we had a temporary teacher for our music class. She would always pick on and call out my best friend for being slow at reading and writing. My best friend has dyslexia. We were in music class and my friend turned in her work and had some notes backwards. The teacher stated scolding her about how she should have been paying attention and etc. My friend nicely told her that she knew what the work was. She just accidentally flipped around the notes. We had told her in the past that she has dyslexia, so that's why some of her spelling is backwards and stuff. The next day we had it. My friend used her right hand on the top of the instrument instead of her left and she got scolded again because she mixed up her lefts and rights. I got up and said, "You know what the hell is wrong with you? You know she has a learning disability, so why the hell are you so damn picky about everything? So what if she accidentally messed up her rights and lefts? F king help her learn instead of yelling at her." Here's my story face with wide open eyes and flushed cheeks. So my friend invited me to her birthday. We'll call her Jasmine. With another girl. We'll call her Charlie. Me and Charlie didn't really like Jasmine, but we still went. Anyway, we spent the night and we told Jasmine we were going home, and she went all crazy and started yelling at us to stay, so we got all scared and was like, what the fuck? So like 10 minutes later Jasmine went to the bathroom and me and Charlie ran out the fucking door and went to the park that was by her house and called Charlie's dad to pick us up. 3 minutes go by and we saw Jasmine running towards us. We saw Charlie's dad down the street and ran towards him, and we jumped in the car and told her dad this bitch was crazy. Around 2 weeks later she killed herself. I was a cashier at McDonald's a few years back. There was this very cute guy who came in maybe 3 to 6 times a week. He came very often, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. I used to flirt with him every time I saw him. He flirted back. It was great. I loved seeing him. One day, he comes in with his fiancée. I was so disappointed, betrayed and hurt, so I treated him coldly from then on. A few weeks later, 2 of him come in together and I find out that he has a twin, and I'd shot down any chance I had with the single one. 3 months before I turned 18, I went out with a bunch of friends, and I decided to make a bet with a friend on who could drink more vodka. Of course, as a tiny girl, I lost, and it hit me hard. I got up to go to the bathroom at one point, and everything was spinning, so I peed myself and threw up. The end result, I was taken to the hospital because I almost was in an alcoholic coma. They called child services because I was still a minor, and my friend called my mother. I was so nervous that they had to give me sedatives when I saw my parents at the hospital. The day after, at home, my parents were laughing their asses off at me. To this day, I feel stupid and humiliated about making the bet, but after hearing some family stories, I realized that my aunts, my dad, and even my grandma had all done stupid stuff after. Okay, so a couple years back my teenage sister was pregnant. Nobody knew at the time, not even her. And so one day I was in my room just hanging out, and I heard a really loud scream coming from my sister's room. Naturally, me and my family went upstairs to go check on her to make sure she's okay, and me and my mom walked into my sister's room, and there was blood all over her sheets, and my sister had, I wanna keep it family friendly, so let's just say toy. Anyway, there was a bloody toy in her hand and she kept screaming. Like it was a lot of blood. My mom took her to the hospital cause she didn't know what else to do, and it turns out she accidentally gave herself an abortion with a toy. Okay, so when I was like 7 and One Direction was a thing, I was obsessed with them and had posters of them everywhere. At this point my parents were divorced, but I would see my dad every other weekend, and I still remember when my dad said that for my birthday he was going to buy me One Direction tickets for my birthday, and he asked who my favorite member was because he wanted to see if there was a chance I could meet him, and I said Zayn because 7-year-old me was so whipped for Zayn Malik. Turns out my dad is a white supremacist, but I didn't know that at the time, and he was like, no, your favorite can be Louis or Harry, and I was like, bitch no, I want to marry Zayn Malik, red heart. And like a week after that he was like, never mind, I'm not buying you concert tickets. So I literally didn't get to go to a One Direction concert because my dad was mad that my favorite member was a person of color like Chili. But he has a warrant out for his arrest now, and I haven't seen him in years, so we good sparkles. Red heart. One time I had a crush on this guy, but he rejected me and made fun of me with his friends. I was so fucking hurt that I decided to get revenge. I found his address on Zillow.com and went to his house. His car was in the driveway, so I slashed his tires and smashed his car windows. Then I broke inside his house to stab him, but it was dark, so I accidentally walked into his brother's bedroom and killed his brother. Instead I ran from the house so quickly and no one knows it was me that murdered his brother. Lol, face with tears of joy. In 6th grade, me and 2 of the popular boys were sent to the classroom during lunch to decorate the Christmas tree. I was on my period at the time, so I had went to the bathroom to change my pad. When I got back the lights were off. I walked in and they wrapped ribbon around me and started to pull on it really hard. All my period blood squirted out. So it was 8th grade. I had a very shitty boyfriend and we liked to make out a lot, even though we were 13. So one day we started making out in the hall. Like when I say making out, I mean using tongue. While making out we got caught by another guy in the same grade and I was like, oop. When I was 6, me and my cousin were playing moms and dads, as you would when you're 6 years old. We were arguing about who was going to be the mom. I got so annoyed and pushed her. She almost fell out the treehouse. She gasped and slapped me 2 times across the face, but she was still holding on to the barrier of the treehouse. So I decided to just push her off. She screamed and broke 3 bones. Now she hates me, but I was just glad I got to be the mom. So one day I was at school and I was doing braids on my friend 'cause we were bored and she just wanted me to do her hair. And then this mean ass sub we had said this isn't a hair salon, stop doing her hair and pay attention. And we didn't give a fuck 'cause that teacher was mad boring and I wanted my friend's hair to look good like yes period so she can get a man's finally. And then I continued to do her hair and then the teacher said if I don't stop that she will send us to the office and I said why can't I fucking do her hair and pay attention at the same time like the fuck it's not my fault that you're boring as fuck. And she got mad 'cause I was cussing but I didn't give a fuck and then she started yelling at me and I hate when people yell at me. I don't care who you are, I'll do anything. And so she got me mad and that ugly ass sub had a wig on so me being the hairstylist I am tehahi I went to go pull her wig off and she was bald and everyone started laughing at her. And I felt like a bad bitch and then I got expelled but at least the teacher got what she deserved for not letting me do my friend's hair so she can get a man's crying cat face. When I was 8 I was at Walmart and had to go to the bathroom so I went to the bathroom and got in the big stall while I was pooping. I saw a woman with a wheelchair sitting outside the bathroom stall. I didn't know what the big stall was for so when she asked if anyone was in there I said yes. She said hurry up and was rude. I got done and left to go wash my hands. When I was getting out she tried to run me over with her wheelchair like ho if you wanna settle something let's do a foot race. Full moon with face. Man with medium dark skin tone in business suit levitating. One time this year, my sister was using my iPad for her job right. So she opened up Safari and the first thing she sees is anime porn and she called me to come to her. She asked me why this is on the iPad. It wasn't me. She asked me and my 7-year-old brother. We both said no. Later when my mom left the house, she finally asked us who did it. My brother said it could be a virus from the website he uses for cartoons. Later in the day he turned on his Nintendo Switch connected to his TV. It turned on and it said anime sex. He begged me not to tell. I asked him why and he said it's a little crush. So basically my 7-year-old brother was on Pornhub watching anime girls banging. One time when I was 9 me and my friend were making a fort for our sleepover. We made this challenge that we couldn't get out of the fort for the whole time of the sleepover. So we did it. It was going well until me and my friend had to shit. But we didn't want to wreck the challenge so we had to figure out something to do with our shit. The first thing I said it was grab a jar. There was a few jars in my room so we grabbed one. My friend went first. She pulled down her pants and shat in the jar. Then I went. We didn't have anywhere to put it so we closed it up and then left it in the fort with us overnight. When we woke up the smell was horrifying. So one time in kindergarten this weird girl, who we will call Blue, had a crush on the same boy I had a crush on and her carpet spot was in front of his and she would pull down her pants a little so he could see her ass cheeks but also so the teacher couldn't see. The boy ended up telling on Blue and the teacher was mad. She made a face that made her look like a fucking constipated duck on steroids. Anyway she was sent down to the office. That's it. In 4th grade my friends were obsessed with paranormal stuff so one day my friend told us about a game where we would make an upside down cross with our arms and repeat the name of the demon we were trying to communicate with 10 times. We chose Zozo so it was a partly cloudy day. Keep that in mind when we decided to do this. So we did the whole ritual and stuff and after we repeated Zozo 10 times I asked give us a sign that you are here. Right after I said here it started pouring rain. I was so scared and at the time I didn't believe in ghosts but ever since this experience my beliefs are different. One time in the 5th grade I ate their nasty ass chicken and we had recess right after that. Well I was standing there awkwardly with my boyfriend and then my stomach started to hurt. I felt a fart coming so I let it out. It smelled nasty as fuck. Stank ass diarrhea type smell. Well then my friend said was that you and my boyfriend looked at me and I said bitch no that was you and she left it alone for then and we went inside. Then my other friend came up to me and said we will call her Sarah. She said Sarah is talking about how you farted at recess. So then I went up to her the next day at recess when she was standing with her boyfriend and I kissed him right in front of her. My boyfriend knew what I was gonna do and when I was done kissing him she looked at me and said we will say Kaylee. She said Kaylee what the fuck and then I slapped her in her face and said bitch stop being fake.